She was cleaning the wardrobe glass door and her angelic voice was echoing in the walk-in closet of Jungkook. He was out for some work till then Mrs. Den, the head maid, told her to clean his room and now she was done. She looked at his luxurious perfume collection and took out one of them as per Mrs. Den's order. Her nostrils filled with the rich aroma and a small smile broke on her lips. She stepped inside the bedroom, but the view in front of her stunned her. Jungkook's shirts had a few buttons open, sleeves were folded to the elbow, and his thick thighs were spread that he was looking magnetic, hot as a freak. His eyes were closed, but sensing the presence, he opened them. Her innocent yet scared eyes met with his dark demeanor. Due to fear, her hold around the perfume loosened and splashed. "I'm so sorry, it just slipped from my hand." She saw the glass pieces were scattered and the rich aroma filled the bedroom. He saw her panicking and trying to clean it, but a glass piece pierced her hand. "Leave it." Now her stress was on peak, waiting for his punishment. She looked down with blurry vision. She had heard about his scary activities and now she was going to see it. "Come here." "I'm sorry, I won't do anything, just come here." His voice softened. He didn't want to scare her anymore and saw her coming towards him hesitantly. She felt his soft grip around her hand and noticed her blood-dripping hand. "Sit here, I'll be back." She sat on the bed edge silently. Arguing with him would be pointless, and she didn't have that much courage to. Her body was shivering with negative thoughts, but he returned with the first aid kit. "I will clean." His sharp look, and she taped her mouth. She noticed how gently he was trying to treat her and admired his lethal, dominant look. No one could avoid his undeniable hot looks, but her stolen gazes made him feel special. "He's not that scary." Her eyes are still on her, but soon she looked away as Jungkook finally averted his intimidating yet soft gaze to her and noticed redness on her cheeks. "Thank you, sir. Didn't I told you call me Jungkook?" "Yes, then?" "I'm sorry." The next moment she was in his arms and his lips were just inches away from her. Everything happened too suddenly that she felt herself losing in him. "Jungkook." Her breath sucked. He was decreasing the distance between them that she could understand his intentions. Not wanting it, she immediately pushed him and ran outside. "What happened, child?" "Nothing." Mrs. Den didn't pressurize her but was sure that Jungkook must have done something. Wayne got busy with her work, but still that moment was playing in her mind. It was not the first time he came closer to her, but today he was just inches away and she was in his arms. She felt butterflies whenever he was around her, but she was afraid too. Afraid to get used or played by him. She didn't want her heart to break and decided to avoid him. Jungkook noticed Wayne was not there. He wanted to ask Mrs. Den but stopped himself. He was used to getting served with her and now it killed his appetite. Wayne was not feeling well, so I sent her to the quarter. Jungkook nodded without reacting shocked. He knew Mrs. Den understood him very well since he grew up in front of her. She is so innocent and I hope you treat her well. Taking her milk, she went to her quarter bedroom. She changed her night clothes and drank her favorite banana milk like every night. Thinking about Jungkook and the incident, now she was drowned in her deep slumber. Soon, the door of her bedroom opened and like past 1 month, he entered the room silently. A smile came across his face, seeing her pouty face that he wanted to claim those lips but always controlled himself. He didn't want to cross any other line. He lay beside her and held her in his arms gently. He always felt calm in her embrace and could easily sleep without any sleeping pills. Wayne was a heavy sleeper, that's why he didn't caught yet. Your innocence is dangerous for my heart. He slid a hair strand from her face and placed a soft kiss on her forehead. Good night, princess. He closed his eyes too and slept peacefully. Wayne was in the kitchen, but one sentence was roaming in her mind. I saw sir coming out from your quarter. Her room was beside Wyan and she caught Jungkook's today's morning. Wyan was not ready to believe that. Why would Jungkook come to her room and how? She always locked the door from inside. How innocent she was. She saw Jungkook came to get the water bottle and she kept walking. Her heartbeats risen when Jungkook came back to her and placed his hand on the slab. He caged her between him and slab. What are you doing here? You should take rest. Can you please? Please what, princess? I'm not that type of girl. A pain in his chest fell, but he could understand her. That was the reason she was different and he had things for her since day one. And I am the type of a man who believes in chasing one woman only. She saw him leaving the kitchen with her big eyes. She was still collecting his words and the meaning behind. Was he real? He likes me? She was still shocked that the milk was now on the whole slab. She realized it and cleaned everything. Her whole day was now consumed with his thoughts only. She didn't saw him for lunch or dinner, and completing her duty, she went to her quarter. Changing her clothes, she was laying on the bed, but sleep was not near her. I'm thinking too much. How can he like a girl like me? She shook her head when she heard the door of her room open. She got scared, and with her little open eyes, she saw Jungkook. She wanted to know what he was up to and pretend like she was sleeping. Jungkook didn't notice it either, and like any other day, he held her in his arms. Her heartbeats were uneven, feeling herself this close to him. Are not you slept already? He could feel her heartbeats and she immediately backed away. He was caught, but he was not scared. After all, he was a gangster for a reason. Mr. John, how? You are my sleeping pill. She looked at him in disbelief. In your arms, I found my peace and calm. This is not right. Jungkook pulled her towards him and made her sit on his lap. Please don't. I promise. I never crossed any line except sleeping with you. Wyan could see how genuine he was and stopped struggling now. How long has this been going on? A month. Her eyes widened. How heavy sleeper she was that she had no idea someone was sleeping with her, with that too close. Now I'm exposed doesn't mean it was going to stop. What? Used to it now because I'm not leaving you in this life. He cupped her face and placed his lips into her tenderly. Now she was not going to protest anymore. She was not used but going to cherish with the man who changed himself for her. A heartless man now melting into love.